What's going on today, guys? All right, so we've got a couple of things going on tonight. We are going to finish up the tailgate for the 87 Suburban. Also, we are going to redo the seats on the Recession Silverado. So I'm going to start off by going and pulling the seats on the Recession Silverado. I get the wonderful opportunity to do this while it has started to rain. It is currently 56 Celsius. Or I'm sorry, 56 Fahrenheit here, which translates, if I do my math, it's like double plus 30, so it's like, ugh, it's cold. It's probably 15 degrees Celsius, something like that. It's very cold here. So I'm gonna set up, begin taking those out. We're gonna start with the passenger seat first so I can learn, and then I'll go to the driver's seat and we can start from there. Okay, now that we're out of the rain, just making sure my mic's on. This is just the side panel. I have this off just because I still need to figure out how to do power on this. I only temporarily installed these. I'm going to remove the headrest because the nice thing is I did look into these. The headrests aren't really worth a ton of money, so I'm actually just going to keep them. The nice thing about these, I was trying to find just like a black leather one. Oddly enough, these adjustable ones, I can't seem to find any of them that aren't this design. So I was thinking about removing these, but I think I'm just going to leave them in for now. It doesn't really hurt. I might clip this portion, but at the same point, again, it doesn't really matter. So we're going to make that decision. We don't need to do it right now. So I'm going to start by removing these parts. It's like just a little neck pillow. Just so everyone's aware, you do need a little pick. I grabbed one to remove any of these later model GM headrests. It is opposite of the adjustment. You just stick the pick in, pull up. They are kind of a pain for whatever reason. So that gets that one started right there. Gets it pulled out, and yeah, okay. So we are not going to start on this one, however. We're going to start on the old seat with the airbag, just because that's going to be an easier one to start with. I do want to put a disclaimer out here. This seat has been sitting for going on, I gotta think, probably over a week now. I doubt that there's any air in the system. There's nothing to ignite the airbag, but I want to put that out there that there is a possibility that you could have an issue. So don't be an idiot is what I'm trying to say. So let's move this over. These are just some cheap seat covers I purchased on Amazon way back when we bought the truck. So as you can see, these are kind of stained up. I did not know that these were rebuildable. I wish that I had known that, because I do want the power in these. Kind of counterintuitive because I put manual seats in the Mustang, but it's a different car, just totally different car. I want the power in those, so it would be a little bit of a nicer piece all the way around. So if I take a look at these, in the update video, I kind of started playing around. I'm going to grab a flathead screwdriver. Let's see if we can start popping some of this stuff out. It looks like there's just some simple bolts on the sides here, but a lot of this should come off. I'm just seeing a lot of how I can do this. So the reason why I'm starting on this one, because I don't care about this cover. This covers are junk. Also, as a disclaimer, I've never done one of these before, so we're gonna learn together. We're gonna teach ourselves something, and who knows? Maybe we might just learn something. And, let's see. There it goes. Okay. Okay. Yep. So these just looks like these have some sort of slide mechanism. It doesn't look like I, strictly speaking, broke it, but it looks like it just like Sits down, yeah, so it just sits down on top of that. Yeah, it looks like if you just pop it, that's pretty much it. Let's see if it does the same thing on that side. Yep, that's it. Okay. And again, the entire goal, yep, so the little slider mechanism just popped out of that one. But again, it's just like a little piece of plastic, so it just, all it does is it just sits in there. There's not like a spring. So, I'm just looking to see. It would not surprise me if you started up here, work these back and forth. That's kind of a common trait to have to do on something like this. So, let's see, we're going to start up here. So this is all in one piece here. So it looks like we're going to have to get this to release. There we go. There it is. Oh. This might be good. There's a couple of picks that I have that might be a good idea for this. Let me go grab those. Let's see. It looks like I just had to work it back and forth a couple of times, and it did open up. There we go. All right. So there's that. Yeah. This just pulls free. Yep. Kind of not surprising. So you want to pull lightly here. Again, you still need to figure out where that airbag wiring is with this, so I'm going to keep pulling lightly until it reveals itself. Okay, still nothing, still nothing. Let's see. These are like a clip. Let's see, this is just the foam. Sorry, I'm just still taking a look here. Trying to rotate this so you guys can see. So I see the wiring, but I see a new concern, and I hope it's not what I think it is, but I'm not going to tell you what I'm thinking just yet. Let me dig a little bit deeper first, just to confirm my own misery. Okay, we're going to remove the seat back. There we go. So so just like that. Yep, just like that. Okay, see the connection point. It's kind of like this. I'm really not seeing, really not liking what I'm seeing so far. Again, I'm kind of be a little cautiously pessimistic here. Okay. Oh, thank God. Okay, so, whew. All right. I am very, very excited to see that. Okay. Something I was very concerned with. I was very concerned. So this is the airbag right here. I was very concerned that it was actually a part of this section because I had seen this piece right here. I was very concerned about that, but thankfully it is not. It is its own dedicated piece. We may need to use this seat bracket, but I am not entirely sure just yet. So let's see. Looks like, yeah. So okay. So it does look like there is an ability. You can work it back and forth on those, just like I just did, or it looks like they probably just snap in place just like that from the factory. I'm just trying to see if there's an easier way, because I know that you can adjust these. Let's see if there's a easy way to flip these over to manual, or I'm sorry, automatic, because it looks like I see a couple of bolts there. I do not think that there's an easy way, but I see some sort of potentially passenger occupation system, or a piece to understand if you're sitting in the cab. I guess maybe I missed that the first time, but we'll see. Looks like it's underneath. See, because it looks like it's part of this little connector. I had previously seen online that this is the connector that you run power into, and it gives you power for all that stuff. Looks like some sort of range sensor, but lots of goodies. Okay, so this comes over here. Let's drag this over here. First things first, let's take a look at the bottom side. Okay. Okay. Very first thing, we do have the occupant system, which is very good. So, sorry, I'm just looking, studying, if you will, to see. I did make sure we got everything. Okay. Look. I think beyond that, technically everything's correct. I would be very surprised if the seat frames were different. I'd be very surprised. I would also, just to clarify, I would also be very, very surprised if a lot of the stuff is different. Most of the time with the stuff, it is the exact same, and I know a lot of people are would be very skeptical of that, but truth be told, it generally is exactly the same, which is strange, but it's true. So, being that this is newer, the only thing we may have to rob the harnesses that are attached to this, and basically like run like the occupant system piece by itself, and then the power harness will run kind of like what we did with the Ranger. We might have to do something like that. which would be totally fine. I would be okay with that. If it shuts up all the idiot lights, I would be totally fine with that. But, sorry, I'm just going to keep studying here for a minute because I'm going to, yeah, like this has all the connectors. So I would be very shocked if it did not have like literally all of the stuff that we need in like all the same exact orientations. Let's see, this was, so there's the yellow connector. On this one, it didn't have like a dedicated yellow connector. It had just like this huge one, as you can see. And I'm sure if I trace down the points, I may be able to isolate it, but at the same point, we can just very easily swap that over. So what I should do now is I should actually take off the back of this one to understand exactly what's going on here. However, I should also identify the power and ground. I think I have it identified on this. It should be the same power and ground for all of these. But I'm going to pause here, look up a quick wiring schematic for these seats so I can make sure to identify it, and then I'm going to grab one of my M12 batteries and power it off there, because I can just simply tap it. I'm pretty sure looking at this, you can see there's a red with a white and then a black. I'm almost positive that's power ground, and it should give this entire thing power and ground. So if it does, we'll be able to adjust the seat back and forth, which will be perfect for what we've got going on. And then I can add or remove power as I see fit, which would be exactly what we need to do. So yeah, I'm gonna pause video here, do a little bit of research, and be back very shortly. Okay, after double checking everything, we are 100% certain that we have the correct wiring diagram in place. I've actually tested it here. Let me show you. Everything's good to go. You can actually just literally run these off of 2 wires. It looks like it's the big fat black wire and then the red and white wire. I just have these hooked up with a simple fuse in line. But it's literally right here. Probably shorted out just a little bit, but that's okay. I've got surge protection in 2 places. Let's see. No, we didn't blow it yet, but it looks like it is position technically 9 right there on this side, and I think it's also technically 9 on the other side. So that's how you run this. Again, I'm gonna end up pulling the wiring out of that base on that side. So what I've done while this is still hooked up, I've moved the seat back to the upmost position to make it easier for myself, because again, I'm going to have to remove the back of this to swap over that airbag unit. So I had mentioned this in my other video that was, and you should watch, which was my update video. So looking at this, being that this is this was an airbag seat, moving to a non-airbag, chassis. Initially, kind of doing a little bit of the homework behind it. It does look like they are the same. Surprisingly, they are the same covers. One has a tag, one does not have a tag. When I was looking at all of the pieces online, they kind of talk about this. Or I should say, any of the aftermarket stuff that fits this, it says 07 to 14. So, and it says, I was like, okay, so maybe it's just saying that. Maybe I'm missing something. No, that's just what it is. It's not. I don't think that there's actually a difference. I think that they added an airbag tag later on, and that's it. So that's fine for this. I would like the much nicer seats. And again, we're not going to be compromising anything as far as safety goes with this. Okay, there we go. We're not going to be compromising anything as far as safety goes to be able to accomplish this. So really, we're not losing out. So, let's see. There's 1, there's 2. Okay. I think I moved my tools a little bit. Okay. That's okay. We'll come across them. All right. So, looking at this, see, it looks like there's an emboss on the right side. Yep, it literally even has the bolt holes for it, so it's gonna be a bolt-head. These seats were out of an 09, so they had to have known that it was coming. They made the provisions and then they simply just didn't add them until they were required to, or the what was it? The trucks got them. Well, see, this was a crew cab, so maybe the extended cabs got them way earlier, and I mean that's got to be what it had to have been. Is the extended cabs got them, and they just all use the same seat back, because that would make sense. Because this was out of an 09 Silverado, but it was out of a crew cab. So in the crew cab, they would have been mounted in the side panel. So again, that makes sense. If you think about it, it makes total sense. So this piece, and again, we learned I should be able to reach underneath here, clamp these. Yeah. That's what we're gonna do on the leather, because the leather is really nice, and I want to keep it very, very nice. So, just need to find a way to get this to release, so that we can get the whole bottom side to swing out. And once it swings out, we'll be in good shape. So, the unfortunate thing about these beautiful leather seats, I don't think they're heated. It's like the only thing I don't think that these ones had. It'd be so nice if they were, but I don't think they are. So, such a shame, unfortunately. Purely a shame. So if they were, that'd be sweet. Really increase the enjoyability of the truck, that's for sure. Oh, there it is. There's like a small lip to the back of this that is like, that's the whole thing that I've been missing, from what I can tell, is basically there's just an ever so slight lip that you really can't see, and once you get that lip, once you pull on that in just the right way, it just comes right out. Ow. Come on, come on, come on. There it is. Okay, so make sure this is all good. All right, now again, I just have like a little simple fuse in here just to make sure that we're all safe. Let's see. Yep, we're good. Oh, whoops. Okay. Power off yet again. All right. So, let's see.
Okay, yep. So if you squeeze in the very tip, yep. So that's what it was. You have to push in on the absolute very tip, and maybe it's just like catching just on that one. Yeah, there it is. So let's see if I can show you this. So basically you push in on this very tip right here and they come out like that. So I'm gonna make sure that I leave that on the correct side. Let's see if I can get this one now. I'm gonna push in one more time. Come on. It feels jammed for what it is, and maybe I'm just not, I feel like I'm not able to put a bunch of leverage on it for whatever reason. There we go. Going on with this? This one just is not wanting to be nearly as nice. It's not wanting to cooperate, but okay. Keep moving. Let's see. Move around. I missed one of these clips I did. Missed one of these stupid clips. Here we go. So, if you are not switching to an automatic seat, if you're just, say, you're like rebuilding your seats, you can order these covers on eBay. So this is October 2023. I've seen the covers themselves, just the covers, go for about 40 bucks, give or take, per section. So 40 bucks for the top section, 40 bucks for the bottom section. So that seems pretty reasonable, actually, from everything I can tell. Now, keep in mind I'm not an expert on this, so you may agree or disagree, but again, I don't know. So, trying to get this to flip out. Words, there we go. Just have to work it back nice and slow like this to make sure that there's no issues with it. Again, we're not trying to break the leather. The leather's very nice. Okay. So, let's take a look at the difference. So this is the bolster. Okay. So, here is where... the bolster. Comparatively, I'm just looking to see what the difference is. And I can't tell if... Yeah, okay, so... So these seats, as you can see, I mean, this is just night and day difference. This one seems to be thicker. You know, if I'm just comparing these two apples to apples, this is the seat back off of the other one. You know, here's where the airbag was. It looks like there's a cavity preformed. It doesn't even look preformed. It looks like it's cut. So I almost wonder if that's what we need to do on this one. And weirdly enough, almost looks like that's what it's designed to do. Looks like that's what's the design is for it to be cut. Almost. It's like it's just so weird how it's designed to be there. So that's where it is, at least right there. So we're gonna put this right here just for reference. I need to grab, looks like a 10. Be right back. So, oh, that pulled out. All right, that's actually kind of ideal. We're gonna put these right here. There's just a couple leads I grabbed spares. I'm gonna drag this over here. We still haven't pulled out the wiring entirely from this, but I'm gonna unbolt the airbag apparatus. And again, from just checking briefly, it looks like it's totally gonna fit. I don't see any like super simplistic connector as of right now that would easily make my life better, but we'll double check. Okay, here's the first one. There's the second one. So it looks like this is just one piece. Let's see, is there a connector? I don't see one, and I'm not going to go digging in there. That's just a good way to have a permanent airbag light on. And I'm not looking to be rooting around in airbags at the junkyard, especially because a lot of these trucks were just kind of decimated to begin with. So the only downside about this, from what I've seen... Oh, it's okay, they both landed in here. Good start. The only downside from what I've seen about this is the harness goes down into there, so I need to flip it back up, and that way I can run this in there. Now let me double check. I do not recall seeing that similar harness would be right here. I think that is, yeah, so that is this harness from what I can tell. Yes. Okay, yep. I'm just double checking to make sure we don't have anything silly like the harness is also ran, it's just vacant or anything like that. It feels totally not there at all, which is totally fine. Let's see. Again, just checking. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like this whole piece is a preformed unit. I'm just gonna pop that. Looks like, yep, okay. Pop this way. So, the way that this is fighting me, I'm going to guess that there is an E-clip somewhere that I cannot see. I could almost guarantee it. So, and you know what? It doesn't even matter. I don't even need to screw with it. Looking at it, it's literally just all right here. Yeah, so we're not going to fight this. It's not even worth the effort nor the time to do that. Yep, don't even need to do it. So, okay. Now, let's see. Okay. Step one's removing this part of the harness right here. There we go. Okay, so this is kind of loose. This back section does just pop off, from what I recall. Yep, there it goes. Just like that. There we go. Okay. Okay. There we go. Just like that. That is the airbag. So this is the passenger side airbag. This will shut the light off. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to set this right here. The only other thing to take into consideration when I'm looking at this seat now, if I flip this over entirely, this harness right here may be worth removing, depending on everything that we have going on with this. So it looks like we've got, let's see what is going on here. Okay. Oh yeah, this totally might just be worth removing. This, I think we could just keep this right here. I will double check the part number on this. Generally these part numbers should be the same. I can double check. I would be surprised if they changed these. This design looks fairly intricate, but as you can tell, the rest of this looks fairly simple. So, yeah, actually, if I just pop that right there, there's one. Come on. And, yep. Oh boy. Nice. Yeah, okay, cool. So, just like that right there. Cool. So we're not going to remove this off here. Actually, I'm probably just going to slide this back on there. Because if I need to take the bottom piece apart, I can. That's not a big deal. Looking at it, it looks like this is something that you would take the base off, put this in first. So we do still have that as an option should we need to. But, oh, okay, there's one, there's two, like three more, three, four. Okay, we've got a simple lock right here that I can push out, it looks like. Yep, right there. Now, let's see if this is going to come out easily or not. Nope. Come on. So this looks like some sort of slide mechanism on the side. Actually, we can probably just pop this whole piece out right here. Oh, there we go. Sorry. There it is. So, I got this piece. That's a 15 I can pull off. I don't have my 15 over here. I need to go grab that. But, looks like this is some sort of sensor. I just can't see the release clip from the side. Maybe it is right there. Got it. Okay. So, once we grab a 15, funny enough, I actually kind of was thinking about changing the base sensor, or I'm sorry, this piece anyways, just because as silly as this is, the belt's actually just a nicer color. So I'm gonna grab the 15 real quick, and that should basically pull all the electronics off the old seat. Okay. All right. That is everything. let me pop this up out of the way. This gutted husk of a seat. All right, let's get this installed. Okay, I really don't want to rip the leather. I really don't want to destroy that. And to be honest with you, I can just tip it like this and it'll be totally fine. It's not going to be a big deal at all. So, get this started right where it was before. So, how it was mounted on the other seat is just this. Right like that, right there. That's exactly how it was mounted on the other seat. So, before I make any adjustments, I'm going to just lock this down real quick. Go. Now, I need to make the decision now of if I am, I'm thinking and talking at the same time, but I'm not really talking and I'm not really thinking. And it's probably confusing for you guys. I need to make the decision of if I'm going to reuse this backing or if I'm going to use this backing. So the reason why, see, like this is like some I don't know what this is. It's almost like this is to keep it in place. That's what I wonder. So obviously there's going to be a couple of differences here. So looking at the back, you can see where it's hollowed out as opposed to the non. I'm going to assume that this is going to be much more similar to this side if I were to compare them. That's the same thing. What you're seeing here as well, if I were to take another educated guess, you probably see like this from the back side. This is probably what I was seeing before if I were to kind of work this all back in line. So, something more or less like this. Where it holds on, it's got this slip cover just to hold it all in place. I don't care at all about that. That's not that big of a deal to me. You guys can freak out about that as much as you want. I don't care. That's not that important to me. So what's important to me is getting the entire airbag system back online. It would be nice if the airbag went off when it needed to. So the real thing that I am wondering if a simple perforation is enough. That's my first thought, because you definitely need to cut. There's virtually no way you can't get away with not cutting, from what I can tell. And at that point, if you have to cut, is it worth it to swap out those pieces? Or, yeah, because this is where I'm probably running into some issues right here. Is there's another pad on the front of this that yeah. So there's a couple of things on this that I'm running into. So there's one of these, there's a lumbar, there's a couple of pieces, and that's what I was kind of figuring I was running into, was a couple of issues, but now I'm more or less confirmed this at this point. But let's see, how did I remove that? Oh, okay. This is clipped on, just like the other one. Okay. There we go. All right. So, going to release this one. This is just held on by clips, just like this. It should be clips on the other side too, but let's see. We can probably just leave it like that. All right. So, really, at the end of the day, I can leave it just like this. It will have no issues. Technically, there should be a little, yep, quite literally just like that right there. This slides out. I can tuck all of this right back in, and that, just like that, is technically done. When I recall, I think that there's another way to secure this bottom portion down here, but that's not as important. Yeah, it's not really as important because now it's down there. So I'm going to slide this back so that we don't continue to screw anything up. I'm going to kind of tuck it out of the way, just like that right there. Yep, okay, just like that. Okay, back to this. So as you can see, this is the main problem that we're going to run into, is that portion. So if I flip this back over, this gets real thin right there comparatively. So I just wonder, the frame's the same for sure. Like looking at the two, the frame's identical. Because there's no way they're going to change the stamping. That's going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars. It would make 0 cents for that to change. So the foam being different makes perfect sense because the foam is cheap. Very, very, very cheap. So to me, what would make the most amount of sense would be to cut the new foam. Given all of the other restraints we have, that would be the thing that would make the most sense. The only downside is it's also the most risky endeavor, because if you screw it up, you're kind of screwed. But at the same point, it's just the foam. Like, you kind of can't really screw it up that much. And if you do, who cares? It's the side seat back foam. It's not seat foam. So it blows because it's kind of like the bolstering, and that kind of sucks. You know, like that's a very nice portion to have correct on these beautiful brand new seats. But if there's one area I'm going to sacrifice, especially for safety, it'll be this. So these were completely perforated, so that's what I'm going to do. Very slowly, I'm just doing this with a simple blade. And again, this is absolutely going to, this is going to do the job. Like you do not need to worry about me or Sammy in the event of a collision. This will get the job done, I promise. like there is no way that the airbag's gonna be like, nah, we're not gonna come through because this little itty bitty amount of foam got in our way. Like, it ain't happening, buddy. Like, it's gonna blow foam out through there. If an airbag has the ability to give you a black eye, I'm fairly certain that you're gonna be okay. And really, the side curtain airbags really are primarily for glass, so not a huge amount on that side. So I will say one thing, just as a point of feedback, just so you're aware on this, for how that this is cutting, it's kind of like coming out a little bit like strangely. You kind of want to be a little careful because of how it's coming out. It's coming out in a fashion that, like, it's easy for globs to come out, and if globs come out, that's where it's going to become really patchy and feel really bad. So just be careful with that. You want to avoid that as much as possible. It'll be really uncomfortable if it gets too much of that. So there we go. So I have this torn in a way that the entire airbag is exposed. Yeah, there we go. I have this torn in a way that the entire airbag is exposed. I feel really good about that. I really do. I feel really good about that. So the next measure is going to be how this is going to basically compare. This would be nice to have re-plugged in to our little thing. Where did it fall out yet? Okay. Helps if it's plugged in. Go. Okay. Shut the power back off. All right, so we're gonna rehang this. Okay. Let's see. So this is the challenge we're gonna face. So this side's really nice and compact. This side, not so much. We got about an inch. However, I'm going to start on this side. So we're going to refold this back over. Yeah, we're gonna start here. Yeah, exactly. Like basically, I figured once you put a little bit of compression on it, it basically like will completely it collapses enough to make it very workable. It's just that initial amount is going to be a bit difficult. So we just need to get it to the point, and maybe it's probably up here is more the issue than anything else. There's that. Okay. If I didn't have all the glass out before, I surely do now. Whew. Excuse me for a minute, guys. Get a little warm. I have a feeling I'm going to be chasing these. Yeah, probably a good actually idea to pop this out. So I'll pop off. Just that easy. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Hey. Okay. Okay. Cool. Love you. There we go. Okay, so we got all clips clipped at this point. The only thing that we need to do is we need to go through, and really there's got to be a way to get this even, because I believe it's just like it's okay. I guess it's really not as bad as what I had thought it was, but I'm sure that there's a way that you can get it like just a little bit better. Oh, looking at the front, it's almost perfect. Okay, so that's really not too bad. We've got this like this. I'm gonna close this. We don't want that becoming an issue. Okay. All right. Okay, remember, so what we are doing to simplify everything, we are simply just changing that and the related systems that we have. And actually, so that looks like that's one piece that's different. The other one has a track. Just like, why does it even have a difference? Is this on the... Oh, hold on a minute. I'm looking at the wrong side. I'm like, why is it on the wrong side? Let me see. Looks like the there's like a little switch piece. I'll make sure it's not riveted. If it's riveted, we got to bolt it. Okay, so that's one thing. That is riveted on there. So, if that's riveted on there, if it's riveted on there, there's a good chance that, sorry, I'm just looking to see where that piece would be. Considering everything else. Hold on a minute. Hold on a second. Oh. They do use electrical tape from the factory, so I'm not ultra concerned just yet. We're working our way there, though, don't worry. Let's see. I am a bit confused on what that sensor is. So maybe it was changed out. So here's this whole doodad. Let's see. Okay, so that's what this one is. Right here, kind of goes to that piece. So there's a red and blue. Okay. Red, black, and blue. Okay. So confusing. So Interesting. Okay. Now again, we don't really care about a lot of the stuff on this factory design. Like 99% of this pigtail, you guys see what's going to be used, 2 wires. So we don't care about the rest of it, like at all. So in a perfect world, in an absolutely perfect world, I would go back through, trace out exactly what is going on with these. And you know what? I bet I could go look and say, you know what, that blue wire, yeah, that's probably it. Black, yeah, that's probably it right there. You know what? Because again, a lot of these wires are the same. You know, you got a green, okay, that's probably it there. But again, I'm not gonna take the risk with this when I can literally just plug this in. So I just need to plug this in. I need to understand what this sensor is that's riveted onto the seat though. And the unfortunate thing though is if it's riveted onto the seat, there's a provision on the seat right there, and I can see it. Let me make sure, because it looks like, yeah, so looks like it's designed to go right there, and then it would look down. I don't know what it's for. We'll figure it out though. We'll keep putting along. So this piece can come off. This is the factory one that again is not being used at all. So, yep. So that can be tucked away. That one does not matter. This is the other side of the factory piece that we would want to plug into if it will allow us to. We will probably need to pull this and compare the part numbers to make sure if they're the same, then we'll be in good shape. If they're not the same, then we cannot use them. It's just the way she goes. So, passenger side. Yep, okay, cool. I'm gonna put this one on this one over here. Okay, so this is so we're going right here. Is that it? Yeah, it's right here. There we go. So this tucks in underneath there. Yes, that is it. This does not matter. And this is the actual plug that's going to go underneath. So I can kind of like actually weave this through for right now. Geez, I hope this is gonna work. This is gonna kind of suck if it doesn't. Okay. There we go. Okay. So that's where that one's going to go. So we've got this connector and this connector. And again, we need to get into here. Just moving this out of the way. These two pieces. We also do need to put this back on as well as that backing piece. But then pretty much in the clear. So let's pop this off. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Let me compare the two. Actually, this one's much closer. They are the same sensor. Okay. Cool. That's awesome. That's huge. Okay. All right. So now ditching that plug for the plug that actually matters. There we go. All right. So the very last thing is this connector right here, and then we're set. So I need a star bit. So let me grab that and take a look. All right, guys, that's even better. It was literally just bolted onto the side. Okay. Whew. All right. Let's see if this will just bolt right on because it looks like everything's tapped and threaded. Okay.
Wow, this kind of sucks. But it's probably because there's not, oh no, is there no threads in that? Oof.
That kind of blows if that's the case, but that's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Because this will cut threads in there if I believe it will. Let's see.
See, told you.
There it is. Perfect. Now, to the truck. It will have no idea that we have powered seats, which is exactly what we want. We don't want it to know, because if it doesn't know, it can't say no, and that's what we want. So this might have to change the routing of this. I'll probably go back and touch up a couple things, but this is a huge win. Very excited about this. This means that I can shut off the lights. I would say this. If you are doing this swap, I would not turn the power back on when you pull your original seats until you put everything back together for the passenger restraint system. Why I say that? I am fortunate enough to have a good code scanner that can reset that ABS system. Okay, not everyone unfortunately does. So if you don't, make sure that you have some ability to shut it off. I don't know if like some of the other code scanners can, or like the ELM 327s. I don't know if they have the ability to. I don't know, but if they don't, make sure that you have the ability to do that, because that would kind of suck for you to get all the way through this, and then you've got an airbag light on. You got to like go to the dealer, like, you know, they're going to be like, what the hell's this? And some of them won't even do it, which is crazy. So that would be my recommendation to you guys. Definitely, definitely go slow. As you saw, like I feel like we took our time. I feel like this turned out awesome. I feel like we didn't have any issues. I feel like all of this, I definitely think we're going to end up working this back and forth a bit. I don't think it's going to turn out badly by any stretch, but like, I think this is going to be really nice. And again, we're going to use the headrests. I'm probably going to put in I think I said I was going to put in the nicer headrest on the passenger side, because then I can adjust it more. I'm going to put in the one I don't care as much about on the driver's side, which I think is this one. Yes, I think that's what it's going to be. Yep. Looks like everything's still level. I think I'm going to hit this up with some more leather cleaner real quick. But man, this wasn't too bad. I didn't watch any videos or anything on this. You guys kind of saw everything that I had seen doing this. I think we've been out here for about 2 hours. I didn't think that was bad to kind of figure it out as we went. I can easily do the driver's side in a quarter of the time. Easily. So biggest thing I would say, because all the trucks are going to be different. I have a work truck. The work trucks are very specific in how you have to do them. I have a work truck with airbags. If you have a work truck without airbags, I think you can ignore probably 95% of what I have had going on. I think a lot of them had the occupant system, that like weird little bladder system that was in the base that I had kind of shown. I think a lot of them had that, so keep that in mind. But outside of that, A lot of this was very easy to do. It was very easy to understand. It was very easy to like kind of go through and figure out. So as long as you have like some ability to like some basic wiring understandings, you know, I kind of did a lot of the troubleshooting for you guys on these seats. It was kind of hard to find this. I couldn't really find these. I think these are defined as 6-way seats from what I can tell, but we're gonna do the driver's side tonight too. I'll probably put that on like the hyperspeed like I usually do. But from there, if there's any questions you guys have, this is really, really fresh in my mind, obviously. So feel free to comment, and I can probably give you guys some pointers on everything, and we can go from there. But yeah, like even here, so like this is where the airbag sits right now. As you can tell, like I don't think there's like a noticeable difference. Here's probably like the one spot you can tell where like I probably went a little bit too crazy on it, and that's where I was like, try to be a little careful on it, just so that you don't end up like I did in that regard, just to avoid that entirely. So, but yeah, this is a huge win, very nice. I'm just making sure I've got the right thing. It looks like it's on the inside is the one piece, because I'm just making sure I put all these pieces back in there correctly. And I've got to put the back on. Yep. Just like this right here. Let's see, just looking at the differences. I think one of them's permanent. Funny enough, the difference between the one that is cast, that's funny. So these pieces are the same. Of course they're the same. Why wouldn't they be the same? The difference between the one that you have to push in and not push in. Oh, is that it? Right there. That would be it. So I definitely put that one in backwards. Okay. So come on. Okay, so there we go. That should be fine. So we want to put the nicer headrest on, which is this one. Why I say it's nicer, this one has the connectors that are still intact. The other one does not, so I'm probably actually just going to cut a lot of those connectors off, just to save some time. Okay. Let's see. I'm putting this behind the passenger. I am a weird person. I don't really like it when people sit behind me in the truck. So that's why I'm like, I always assume that if I ever have anybody, also it's very weird for me to have just backseat passengers. I'm very much so a person that's like, if we have enough people like that, like kind of drive your own car. Not to say like, not any like environmental thing or anything like that, but like I don't know, it's kind of just my thought on it. Let's see. Let's see if I have to actually, funny enough, let's see if I have to push in this window. Get it. I do. Okay. That's funny. Okay. There we go. All right, cool. There's that. God, I love how these seats look. I got so many compliments at the junkyard for how good these seats look. I don't know why anybody ever says that like getting into cars gets you girls. Dude, I only get compliments from dudes. That's it. They always are like, nice car, man. I'm like, thanks, boys. I'm cool with it. So, now just the back. So I was about to go and grab the other seat real quick. This is all done. Unfortunately, I think you guys got a little turned around, which is so unfortunate. It looks so good. But anyways, it's all put back together. I wanted to kind of actually take a look real quick, see if I can pop this connector apart real fast. Because if I can just grab the leads, yes, I can. Okay, cool. So this is just a comb, like a wire comb is what they call them. So let's see. I know that this one is power, so we're gonna pull this out. Maybe if we just leave it. Oh, that might fall down. Let's see. Come on. Is it gonna push out? Let's see if we can put just a little bit of force. It might be glued into place. I have seen that before. Let's pull the comb out. It'd be cool if I didn't have to splice it. That would be actually cool. But, let's see. The reason why I would like to not break this if I can avoid it is because if I could eventually find a whole connector, then I could go back and like understand what these wires are, even though like I'll probably never use them. It'd be cool to understand if like I'm missing functionality, for example, out of any of these. But unfortunately, it's starting to look like I'm gonna have to cut these. It really kind of sucks, but I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, unfortunately. So yeah, it's just unfortunate because I'd like to not have to, but I also know it's a lot easier to do this with the seats completely out of the truck than it is to do it with them in the truck, and then I can also kind of clean up the wiring just a bit as well. So probably go a little bit up the harness, at least kind of keep it as clean as possible. I'll probably retuck the harness just to make sure. So should be these two, and then just like that. There we go, just like that. So just gonna splice in some connectors and go from there. So perfect. Oh yeah. Okay. A little bit of flex there, but oh man, these are nice. This feels so good on my back. It's just incredible. So, okay, time to pull the driver's seat and then bring it inside. I'm gonna do that off camera because you guys have seen it now twice. So, yay.
Well, that should about wrap it up. I'm gonna need a new little switch on the side there, but that should be it. So let's go slam her in. Well, that's going to wrap up another rainy, cold night working out in the garage. It was a long one. Getting everything working on the driver's seat did take much longer than expected. That kind of surprised heated seat memory control module just threw me for a loop. I found a super helpful wiring diagram that was gave me a little bit of information. It didn't unfortunately help that I had already done the passenger side, which the passenger side didn't need that additional wire, but for whatever reason the driver's side did. But thankfully, hopefully what you guys, at least even if it shows through the video, the driver's side took me like a third of the time.
The passenger side's what took me way longer. I mean, it probably took me 5 hours to go through everything, but I spent 3 hours troubleshooting and kind of like going back and forward. What I did off camera that you guys didn't see was me tracing leads and understanding the wiring and whatnot, and testing to see what exactly was wrong with the seat until finally I traced it to the brain. Was tracing to make sure the grounds were good, that the power was good, that basically power was running all the way through the harness. We didn't have some stupid kind of short somewhere that was going to give me a headache in the long run. So thankfully, that's all done. The seats are installed. I'm sitting in it right now. I've got it adjusted perfectly. I just use little leads and a little M12 battery to get them all set up. And then for these, since I've got amps in a lot of my cars, I just run like power ground with a relay and fuses directly off that, and usually works pretty well. So for this, it'll be totally fine, and these things are super comfortable, like wow level of comfort. So very, very happy with this. It'll be really nice once these are all done, like totally done. I have to flip, I made a boo-boo, and this is actually on the wrong side, so I just have to peel this back off, take this piece off, flip that off. So hopefully I don't have to pull the whole seat, but even if we do, it's not a huge deal to have to do that in and of itself. So thankfully we got a lot done. 2 things left to do. We have to change the mass airflow and the map sensor tomorrow, and then I need to reset all the computers on this thing, and hopefully then and only then, hopefully everything will reset and this thing will finally start to drive normal again. Outside of that, the only other thing I can think of, if it's something like weird, like it needs like a crank relearn or something like that, but that would be really strange if that were the case. I mean, you guys saw it, the compression tested good, the fuel pressure tested good, like it almost doesn't make sense. So, yeah, we're going to come back at it tomorrow, though. We're going to change those 2 sensors as those came in. I'm also going to change a pigtail, and probably the coolant temp sensor as well, because I have it. I had already changed it once, but occasionally my temp sensor will die, or like my temp gauge will die entirely, and it would kick off my AC while I was driving in the summer. So I'm just going to change out the pigtail as well. I think that there's something wrong with the pigtail itself, and it's causing an issue. So I'm just going to change that out. Hopefully that's going to solve it. Hopefully it's not something grounds to the ECU related or anything like that, because if it is, that's going to just be a huge headache. So we'll get back at it in the morning, hopefully after I get some sleep. But until then, see you guys in the next frame. Okay guys, it's a new day. Let's get this truck finished up. We're going to change out the mass airflow sensor and the map. Whew. All right, that should do it. Okay, so just to be on the safe side, since we reconnected all the airbag stuff, again, the truck should think that the original seats are back in it. So I'm gonna put the key back in, but I am not getting in, just on the off chance that something's funky with the airbag system and it sets it off for whatever reason. That would be sweet for the camera, but not for me. So let's see. Real quick. Okay, I actually don't see anything popping up on the display. Let's see. Okay. Give me a minute. I've got this is an Innova 5100 scan tool. It's pretty nice for what it does. It should be powerful enough to wipe the modules. So we're gonna wipe the ECU. so that basically it's got new values for the mass airflow and the MAP, as well as I'm gonna wipe the ABS, or I'm sorry, the airbag module as well. So it should, we should be able to just reset all of it, but I'm not getting anything on the dash, so we should be in good shape. These ones I haven't hooked up to a more permanent source. I need to do like a battery connection for these seats. I'm sorry, battery. I need to hook up a power source for these seats. I'll probably run it off the amp power that's in the back seat. And the nice thing about these being vinyl, I can just run it right along the base plate of the floor, and I can do a pretty decent job at it. It's just I didn't have a lot of time. I just kind of set them so that they're comfortable, and then really, I mean, with powered seats like this, you set them once or twice, and then you're totally fine. So beyond that, everything on these seats should function outside of that. So they're in pretty good shape. So there's a lot of different modules on these newer trucks. So I'm just letting it fully run. It's gonna probably pop up 1,000,001 codes, because why wouldn't it? And then we get to go through and just erase all the stuff that doesn't matter. So come on. But I'm very happy with how these seats turned out. They were very comfortable. After I stopped filming last night, I just sat in them for a little while. I was like, wow, these are really nice. It's very, very nice for what they are. I'm very excited with how they turned out. So kind of nice to see. I am gonna have to get a lumbar thing, but beyond that, that's really not too much of a deal. Let's see. Throttle body airflow performance. Let me see if this is gonna. Okay. Okay. These seats are very comfortable. So it's specifically giving me a cylinder 4 misfire now. It's very specific. And it's giving me throttle body airflow performance. Dude, I don't know. I got no idea, man. So we'll keep looking into it. But let me see. I'm gonna check real fast to make sure it's not something dumb like I missed a plug wire. But we'll see. Well, guys, we are 2 for 2, and by that I mean 0 for 2. So the truck still isn't running right. It's new sensors. At this point, it's got to be something weird. However, on a positive note, now we have eliminated systematically virtually everything on the top of the motor. Everything is compression-wise testing out. We are getting a consistent passenger side issue. And now I'm also getting a consistent passenger side issue on the O2 sensor. I'm almost wondering if I have a plugged catalytic converter at this point. So what I might end up doing is we may end up popping off the exhaust manifold to see what's going on. We can inspect it and just go from there. So that might be the next step, unfortunately, but it's like, man, I would love to just finally get this thing running right again. So, well, that's going to be another time though. So, all right, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video with the seats. The seats are perfect. All the lights on those went out immediately zero issues whatsoever. So I'll run power and ground next time I'm in there, hopefully after we get, you know, the truck running right again. So until next time, hopefully you guys enjoy it. See you later.